Hi, my name is Godex Norfiles, and my pronouns are they, them, he, him. Let's cue that theme song, sung by me. Oh, happy day, oh, happy day, when Jesus washed, when my Jesus washed, he washed my sins away. I am a nerd, and I know there are other Black nerds out there. I just want to talk about fantasy. So today I'm going to talk about Black mythology. The story of the Kishi originates in Angola, Africa, among the Kimbundu tribe. The Kishi is supposed to be this handsome man at face value. They are able to sweet talk and charm women into their midst. They have the head of a hyena that's behind their heads. The hyena head is supposed to have these sharp teeth that latch onto you, and once these teeth have latched onto you, it is impossible to get them off. So what these Kishi do is they lure women into their midst, and sometimes they marry them, and sometimes they even have a child with this woman. Once they have locked this woman in, they devour them with their razor sharp teeth. And then they raise the child to be a flesh-eating villain like they are. They're called a two-faced demon, straight out of the spirit world. The only way to fend off the Kishi is through magic, and they can also be killed with ordinary weapons. And then there is a griffin, which is a lion with an eagle's head and wings of an eagle. And this griffin is from the ancient Egyptian mythology. The griffin was first found in religious Egyptian iconography. Ancient Egyptian and Nubian Egyptian funerary art was inseparable from the idea that life continued after death, and that death was a mere phase of life. The principal iconographic Egyptian sources were found both in scenes and ritual and mythological representations. They were carved in relief and painted on the walls of Egyptian tombs and had numerous representations of gods and pharaohs. In Egyptian legends and folklore, the griffin was to guard the goals of the kings. There was this griffin-like figure that was carved into a cosmetic palette, which is known as a two-dog palette, and that was found between 3300 and 3100 BC. There is a story of Diage, which was this great ancient fish. It was humongous. When I say humongous, I mean freaking huge. It was huge. And it had a ring around its nose. This fish was worshipped as a deity amongst the Sangay people. Within the land of Sangay, it struck fear within its people, and it demanded sacrifice from all the Sangay people. One of the leaders of the Sangay kingdom, his name was Congo Ragosi, he did not birth any sons, and so reluctantly he went to Diage and he asked him if he would give him some sons. This great fish was like, yeah, I'll give you some sons. Not only will you get these two sons, but they're going to be known throughout the land, and their names are going to live on throughout history. They will never be forgotten, and they will be revered amongst all Sangay warriors. That's my fish voice. So there was another person though in the kingdom, and his name was Ghana. He was sick of Congo Ragosi ruling the kingdom and whatnot, and so he led a rebellion against this fish, and the first person he killed was Diage. Ghana was declared the leader of the Sangay land. That brings us to Harem-Meket, and Harem-Meket was also called Horus in the horizon. He represented the dawn and the early morning sun. He was often depicted as a sphinx with the head of a man and a body of a lion, or a ram, which was a link to the god Khepri, the rising sun. Harem-Meket is classified as a mythological creature, but it only takes form in relation to those who are in royalty, meaning that it only serves the royal camp. The story of Harem-Meket is that Tutmosis was out hunting for food. He laid in the shadow of a sphinx in between his paws. He dreamed Harum Aket Atum Khepri was actually his father. and that he was destined to be Pharaoh because Tutmosis was not in the line to be Pharaoh. During this dream, Haromachet promised that if he would clean up the debris around the Sphinx, that he would grant his wish to become Pharaoh. And Tutmosis agreed and thus became Pharaoh. And Tutmosis had all of these representations of the Sphinx throughout Egypt during his reign. This mythological creature tangibly affected the life of this royal. This leads us to our last, I gotta sneeze. This leads us to our last creature in African and African diasporic folklore, the story of Bida. He may be the only creature of African mythology that was actually born to a human. He is a giant serpent with 7 heads that took place within the first dynasty in West Africa amongst the Soninke people. This is a story of a single individual defying tradition. The story is of this man whose name is Dinga. He was traveling through the desert and he was very thirsty, and he came across the spirit woman. The spirit woman would not give him water, and so they had a battle. Since Dinga won the battle, the spirit woman says, "Fine, you can have my 3 daughters." Oh, the good old days. Nope. With one of the daughters, he had Bida, and Bida, upon his birth, immediately buried himself into the earth. And he made the empire of Waco make a sacrifice of a beautiful woman to him in order to bring gold and sustainability to the empire. If this did not happen, the empire would indeed fall. One day, Sia was offered to Bida to be the beautiful woman who would be sacrificed. However, Sia was engaged to be married to Mamodo or Mari. I'm gonna say Mari. Mari was like, "But we're engaged to be married. Why do you need to sacrifice yourself?" Sia was like, "Well, this is my duty. Like, if I do not sacrifice myself, then our entire land will fall." Madu, it didn't sit well with him. It did not. When Sia went to go be sacrificed, he, just in the nick of time, went to go battle Bida himself. He had slashed and he had, just slaughtered 6 of Bida's heads. And at the last head, the night turned into day, and Bida's scales on his serpentine skin glowed into a silver. And he told Mari that, "I swear by the Lord of 7 head, and 7 good years, and 7 bad years, and 7 good months, and 7 bad months, and 7 good days, and 7 bad days, Waco will receive no rain and no gold." Well, Mari didn't care, and Mari slaughtered that snake and brought the end to the Wagoda Empire. And hey, if you ask me, any empire that needs to sustain itself under the sacrifice of women needs to fall anyway. Those are the mythological creatures. I have included a link to more mythological creatures if you would like to know more about them. There are so many, including giant eels and more giant snakes and dinosaurs. So do check out that link if you'd like to hear more about African and African diasporic fantasy. Please like, share, and follow, and do not forget to save. And thank you so much for watching. Have a happy day.